Let's start a new document. I'm going to start with A4 size canvas. So let's use this tool called Iconator. I want you to search for hero. And let's make use of this character. That's all that we need. Let's change all these things. First thing, delete this. We don't need that. We might have to delete that as well. We need to select all of this and change its color. Go to the styles panel, go to fill and click black. Next thing, we need to change the shape of this object. So use the node tool, all these nodes, so make some adjustments, put it over there, delete this point, and think we can delete that one as well. Double tap on this, double tap again, drag this handle over here so that we have a nice curve on top. Delete this as well, and this. Now we make this. You know, Darth Vader's helmet has something like this. Okay, so that's done. Next, let's make some changes to the hand and use the node tool as well. Maybe drag over this node over here and drag this one as well over here. We might need to have another point here. Drag it over here, another point here, drag it down. Okay, and add a point here and another point here, drag it like that. Here, let's select all these nodes, drag it down like that, and then add a node here, and another one here, here, and here. Drag it. We can't drag it yet. We need another node so that this line will stay put. Here, here, and here. Now we drag this thing over here. Next thing we need to adjust is this. Let's rotate this. Use this and rotate. Drag, put it closer to the shoulder, to the body. You might want to use the preferences, and I want to stop the snapping. So turn that smart guides off as well. Use the node tool, drag it over here, this one over here. I think we can safely delete this point. So we just minimize the number of points that we have. Delete this as well. So keep it simple. Keep it 1, 2, 3. Put it over here. Drag this over here. Put it here. Okay. So now we have the hand. The hand, just drag this node over here so that it will attach to the forearm. And this, drag it over here. Okay, so that we can see that the hand is clutching the lightsaber. I think we need to make the forearm much longer, but before that, let's drag it down over here. Something like this. And let's have another point here and here, and drag this. Okay, drag this out. Okay, in this case, let's make this higher, and this one, tap the node tool, drag it. Close like that. Let's select all of this and let's group this thing. Just press this. So let's begin by having another layer. We can close this layer. Let's rename this layer as Vader. Okay, so we can lock this Vader layer. This one, let's rename this layer as Dune. Now let's make a rectangle and draw across the screen, about half of the screen, and then change the color to brown, something like this. I'm gonna resize this like that, and then we're gonna add some dunes. So to do that, we need a pen tool. So this pen tool, just draw something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and close. Okay, I think just put it over here, and then we're gonna curve this point. Double click, double tap, use the handle to curve it. Double tap this one as well, use the handle. I think let's curve this side, something like this will be good. Next, we're going to duplicate this, copy, paste, and put it under the side over here, and we're going to resize this something like this and put it over here. Paste again and resize this, make it smaller, and I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna change the colors later on, but for now, paste again over here. So just to take note, you see all these objects over here on this layer. Now let's change the color to a much darker one, and let's resize like that. I want you to move the nodes so that this point over here touches that, and curve like that, so that it will seem like this is the shadow, something like this will be nice. Okay, so I'm gonna rename this as shadow. Alright, so let's copy again, but before we do that, we need to bring this on top of the shadow layer so that we have a nice curve over here, so that this is the foreground, the layer above this. So we need another shadow copy. Just copy and paste the shadow and move it over here. So here, let's move this aside and then add some nodes down here. Drag this out, double tap and curve it, and double tap this as well and curve this. Okay, so that you will see a very nice rounded curve here. Here, let's put it up here so that it's close to the top, something like this. Next, this one will be the sand dunes, which are far away. Tap and drag downwards, and we're gonna have to change the color here to a much lighter one, something like this. See that? You see this straight line over here? So I think it would be good if we could just curve it. So use the node tool, tap over here, tap over here. This point, drag it up. This point, double tap and drag and curve. This, drag it down like that. So there's a nice gentle slope downwards. Alright, done. Now we're gonna add some gradients later on. I think after we do all these things which are in the background. Another thing is this thing over here, right? Let's curve this one as well. Double tap, drag this over here, and bring it down, and here just pull it back in. So what we see is this curve, this slope. Let's just make another copy of this. Copy and paste and drag it here. And let's make it even lighter. Something like this. And we're gonna go to the layers panel, just rename this as back 2. Drag, tap and drag over here. But this time around, the back 2 must be below back 1. See? It's behind. Let's make another copy of this. So paste it. So here, you're gonna change it to back 3. Okay, and tap and drag over here. Okay, now take back, either back or back 3. So I'm going to choose back, okay, and I'm going to resize the back, make it smaller. This back, I'm going to change the color to a little bit darker, something like this. Yeah, alright, but you know, all these have a regular pattern. We're gonna have to break the pattern a little bit so that it doesn't appear so similar. So here, just add another node, and here, something like that, and this, and another node here, another node here, another one here. Here, add another node, and here as well, and drag it over here. Okay, so now let's add in the gradient, especially for the background. So here, I'm gonna click on the selection tool, go to the styles panel, tap gradient, and then we can adjust the handles. I'm going to bring the first color here right on top, the second color down here, the second color, tap here. I'm going to choose a darker color and I'm going to bring it down, something like this. Do the same with this. Select gradient, change it, drag the handle, the first color over here, second color down here, and drag it down, something like this. Okay, and do the same for the last one. Tap gradient, adjust the handles, second color right at the bottom, tap the second color, make it a little bit darker, tap the first color, make it lighter. We need to make some changes to this. We need to make the first color of this one right in front to be a bit darker so that you can actually see the difference, and here darker, something like that. Okay, now because it is far away, right, so whenever things are far away it looks a lot brighter right in the background. So we need another layer. So draw a rectangle over this. Let's have it as a solid color. Okay, for the time being, let's have it as a solid color. Change the color to something like a white color. Change the opacity like this. See that? Tap and drag down here above all these back layers. Actually, we need to bring all of these down because we need to have a lot more space up here. Sky. Let's bring it down. Now adjust this rectangle. So we're done with the Dune layer. We can lock it, open up the Vader layer, unlock the Vader layer, and then we're gonna move this over here. We need to move this Vader layer on top of the Dune layer. So for the lightsaber, it is a very simple thing to draw. So just use the rectangle. I think this size will be good. We also need the hilt. Let's use the rectangle. Okay, so this one, tap on the node tool, tap here, and drag it up, double tap, drag and drag so that we can have a nice curve. Change the fill color. We need to set the gradient. So we need 3 colors. The first color here, which is red. The second color is here. We need to change this to white, and the third color, red. To make the lightsaber glow, just follow these steps. Copy and paste. And this is the one that we're going to be blurring. So change the name to glow. Tap the styles panel. Group these two together. Tap here, and then we can rotate. Or let's try putting it like that. We should make it much bigger. Use one finger to constrain the size. Next, let's make some changes to the boots. Drag this one here, tap, add a node here, add another node here, do the same with this, drag this out, drag this out. Use the layers panel. We can close this and lock this Vader layer. We need to add another layer. Let's rename this as sky. Tap and drag, and then use the rectangle tool, tap and drag. Let's use the styles panel, tap on fill, tap on gradient, and then tap on the first color. Well, the first color I'm going to choose an orange color. Second color also orange but a bit reddish. We need to select this. Okay, so let's drag the handle like that. So the second color will be down here. Let's make the second color lighter. Something like this. And I think the first color, let's change it to bluish green. So for the clouds, let's have another layer. Tap here, new layer, call it clouds. Lock the sky layer. Use the rectangle tool, tap on the gear button there, change the rounded corners to about 30 or 33, and then we draw something like this. Change the color to white there, and set the opacity to this much, about 50%. Okay, next we just need to copy and paste and drag it to the side. Make this one smaller, add it there, paste, and put it over this side. I think a quicker way would be tap this, so now turn this off, select all of this, and we're going to unite them. So now let's make another copy, make this smaller, and put this here. Select all of this and again unite them. Copy and paste. I think this one, let's flip this. rotate, bring this one higher, select all of this, and again unite. Go to your layers panel, click the clouds, make sure that the clouds layer is below the dune, and use the ellipse tool. Make sure you are on the clouds layer. Now let's draw a circle. Okay, so clouds are done, so we can lock this cloud layer. We're gonna have another layer, and we're gonna call it mountain. Tap and drag below the clouds but above the sky. So next we're gonna draw using the pen tool. Just tap, make sure you click on the mountain layer and tap. Make sure your last point that you tap will be the first point. Now change the color. Make sure you set the opacity to 100%. We need to select this. Now we change it to a gradient color. Tap on the first color, set it to a brown color, something like this. And this second color, drag it down. Make this second color also brownish, but a very dark one. And then over here. Now let's move this mountain over this side, somewhere in the center, and the top of the mountain like that. Unlock the cloud layer. Better make sure you lock the mountain layer. I'm gonna work on the cloud here. Select all of them, and let's just unite all of them to make it easier. It's just one object. And now we can set the opacity more opaque. Go back to your layers panel, lock the cloud layer, unlock your mountain layer, and then we're going to add a ray of light. We need a rectangle. Tap on the gear button, make sure you put it to 0. Now we can begin to draw. Here, now make sure that you use the node and drag it over here so that the rectangle, it will just taper to the top. Let's rename this as light. Tap and drag it down. This curve, let's rename this as mountain. So as you can see, we need more space at the top. We need to unlock all of these layers and keep the sky locked. Select all of this and let's bring it all down. Press one finger on the screen so that you constrain the movement. For this rectangle, just resize it. Let's change it to a gradient fill. Tap here, gradient, move it upwards and the second color downwards. Let's make this the top color, the first color. Let's bring the alpha all the way to 0. Now we need to get back to this light. Go back to the layers panel and lock all of this except the mountain. See, we cannot actually see the light going all the way up because we need to set the color. See this? This is the gradient handle. Set it over here, and here, put it over here. There. So next, we actually need to have like a star shaped object. So let's use a star. tap on the gear button. We need a 4-sided star. So select this. We actually need to set the gradient to a radial type of gradient, and drag this. The first color is transparent. That's not what we want. So set it all the way up to about 80%, and the second color will be transparent. Now let's move it over here. Okay, now that we got the star, let's use the node tool. Let's stretch the gradient handle. Now let's make a copy and paste. This star, we're gonna set the style. We're gonna make it blurry. The second one, we're also gonna make it blurry, about 1.94 or 2. Add some concentric circles. So let's create a circle. Click here and let's draw a circle. Let's make a copy of this, copy and paste, and make it smaller. The second color will not be transparent. The first color, let's make it transparent. Let's move this first color closer to the edge. We're gonna have to move this to the center, this one as well, this to the edge, so that we can see a ring. For the bigger circle, we're gonna have to change the color as well. The second color, the outer rim, we're gonna have to make it 12. Let's make this one much bigger and place it in the center. And this one, make it a little bit bigger, put it over here, but let's change the color over here. Let's make it a little bit more transparent. This one as well, a bit more transparent, but we can still see the ring. Let's copy and paste and resize. Get the Darth Vader layer, unlock this, and tap and drag and put it below the dune layer. So we're gonna have a bit of a shadow. So to do that, we need to do it on the dune layer. Be sure to unlock the dune layer, but let's lock the mountain layer. Now let's add a rectangle, and let's draw the rectangle over here. And this rectangle, let's color it black, like that. Rename this as Vader Shadow. Tap on the node tool. Next, use the fill. Tap the selection tool. Drag the gradient handle and drag the gradient handle here. The second color is black, but we're going to set the opacity to 0. The first color, we're going to set the opacity as well, like that. So use your node tool, place it here under the feet. We need another node and put it over here. Double tap and curve it to follow the curve of the dune. We might need to curve this one as well. Let's unlock the sky layer. Let's draw some TIE fighters. Have another layer. I'm gonna call it TIE fighter. Done. Lock the sky layer. Now let's draw the TIE fighter. Let's use the rectangle tool and let's draw one rectangle here. Let's zoom in. Let's change the color to a solid color, and we're going to change it to black. Let's make some changes to this rectangle. This will be the wing. Use the node tool, add a node here and here. and bring it up just slightly like that, like that. Okay, tap the selection tool, copy and paste, use the rectangle tool again, drag to connect these two, bring it down. Now use the circle, draw a circle, something like this, and put it here in the middle. Next, we're gonna draw another square and put it over here, like that. But this time, add a node here and drag it out, and here, drag it out, like that. So now that we have it here, I want to resize this and place it there, copy and paste, drag it over this side, and paste again, drag it over here. This time I'm gonna use the nodes, use this multiple selection tool, tap here, here, and here, drag it out here. Unselect the multi-selection tool, drag this one, this node here, this node here. Do the same with this side and this side. So now we have a very nice looking TIE fighter over here, silhouette. We can go ahead, select all of this and group them. So as you can see, it will appear something like this. Let's resize this and let's change the color. Maybe let's not make it black, but a little bit grayish. For this one, I'm going to make some changes. Add some new nodes over here. Something like this. And I'm going to do the same with this. First, I'm going to adjust this, just drag the nodes. I'm going to add another node here, and here, and here, and here. Just select these and group them, copy and paste them, place it over here, but this one I'm going to flip it. Lock the TIE fighter layer, unlock the Vader layer, now this is in a group. Let's ungroup it. This is the lightsaber. I'm gonna make another copy of it, copy and paste, but this time around it's not gonna be a gradient fill, it's just gonna be a solid color, dark one. And then I'm just gonna use the styles panel, make it blur. Let's just resize it like that. The nodes, just bring it down. This, like that. And here, just make it wider. Selection tool, make it blurry. Copy and paste. Make another copy again. You're gonna take the base the main lightsaber and put it there right in front. So now just group it together. Group. Now this section is optional. You can add two suns by drawing two circles and then placing them on the screen like right behind the TIE fighters. It would look dramatic, but this is completely optional. You can do it on your own time. Finally, let's add another layer, and this time put it all the way up. We're gonna add some vignetting. Vignette will make all the difference in the mood of this scene. So let's draw a rectangle covering the whole canvas, and this rectangle, let's change the color to a gradient, a radial gradient. The first color, let's set it to red, reddish orange, something like this. Second color, also reddish orange but very dark, something like this. Now we have to adjust the handles, and the second color, make sure the opacity is set all the way up 100%, something like this. And let's drag the handle out like that. The first color, let's set it the opacity to about this much, 10%. Let's get closer, move this color closer. You can adjust this any way you like to create the mood that you want.